Hi guys, today I wanted to touch upon a subject that I know very little about, and I do apologize in advance if I come off as culturally insensitive or if I say something that is incorrect that I do not understand. I do apologize in advance for that. I just wanted to talk about this rising trend on YouTube in lifestyle vlogs. I'm not just my main interests are retro gaming and like movies, video games, pop culture, stuff like that. I also enjoy a lot of other things, but one thing my wife and I connect with is watching lifestyle videos. We're very interested in how other people live all around the world. We love to watch how other people cook, the like how people live their lives with just different geopolitical climates all around the world. It's very interesting to us. We like to stay somewhat up to date as much as we can with that sort of thing. And one thing we found was something that's, I guess, maybe not alarming, because my understanding is that uh, this has been a problem in Japan for a very long time, and it's only gotten worse as time has gone on. For whatever reason you'd want to put into it, I'm not here to really discuss that or hypothesize, and I'm not here to offer any solution. I will also say that this problem is not just a Japanese problem. I know a lot of people um, in Australia that have this problem as well, which is that they are in their 20s or maybe early 30s or maybe even older than that, and they are unsatisfied with their lives. Some of them are jobless, some of them are homeless, some of them are no wife, no girlfriend, no children, alone on Christmas, alone on New Year's. Just the sense of loneliness is something that is permeating not just Japan but Australia and all around the world. You can find lots of evidence of this as well. Uh, Traditional kind of community structures have slowly evaporated away for whatever reason you'd like to give. I'm not here to talk about that too much. Just to show like how unfortunate it is, and it's a bit sad when, because I started watching. I believe it's definitely one. I think it was this guy. No, as I said, the I'll try not to laugh because this is something of a serious video. There's so many people. That might have been one of the first ones. There were so many people like this on YouTube that I was actually watching multiple. I think this might have been the first one I saw, but it might not have been. I'm not sure. It might have been this one. I'll go through them individually pretty soon. So I was watching videos about like a Japanese salaryman and how much they work and how little time they get to spend with their families or with loved ones or with friends or just anybody they care about, how isolated and alienating their lives are. I know in Japan they have, I believe it might be something of a derogatory term. I don't know the Japanese term, but the translated term, and I apologize for saying this if it offends, but um, like corporate cattle, and we do have names for that in Australia too, but they are quite mean spirited, and I don't feel comfortable saying them. But uh, yeah, I was going through some of these because they would pop up on the algorithm as something that like I can maybe go to my algorithm now. You'd go to the algorithm, and I'd sit down with my wife, and over dinner we'd look and we'd go, oh, like maybe we'd like to watch something. Here's some gaming content. Like, oh, here's something we'd like to watch, traditional cooking. And we'd go through, and inevitably, I love to watch this one, BBC Archive, and inevitably, we would eventually find one of these lifestyle videos. Here's one. This is maybe one I've put in my listing too. Like initially, we were watching things like Lina in Japan. Her channel is fantastic. She's just like a housewife who goes shopping, and it's easily digestible um, content that you can watch and get a little inspiration from. For oh, maybe we should get some homewares that she's picked up, or maybe we should try some of the food that she's cooked, stuff like that. We'd also watch. There were quite a lot of channels that popped up. Where's Itska? Itska? When we were gaining insight as to where we actually wanted to visit in Japan and what kind of activities we wanted to partake in, this was an excellent channel, and there were many others. It would seem like when something in Japan, at least on YouTube, gains popularity, you get many, many copycat channels. And one thing I wanted to comment was how many of these channels are like you might view some of these channels and not actually realize when you click on some of the videos that you're watching. This guy goes all around the world, but he started in Tokyo, or in Japan. You might not realize you're actually watching different channels and different people's content. It was actually very interesting when I first figured it out. Here's more like solo Japan, solo travel Japan, and solo travel Japan. Like these are all different I think this one is like a food channel offshoot of Solo Travel Japan, but these are all different channels and different people running them. Was this another one? Travel Alone idea? Yeah, another one here. I've not gone through my this was kind of another one. That this guy's more in Hokkaido. He like does skiing and stuff, and he goes to Vietnam quite often. Uh, and I've been to Vietnam, Hanoi, and Ho Chi Minh. Like it, lovely country. I'm going off on a tangent here. So I would go through these videos, and I started to realize, hold on, because I thought all of these were coming from one person, but as it turns out, there's heaps, and they keep popping up, new ones all the time. Some of them are like, some of them you can tell, um, like this guy's content is quite different from the others because he appears in the content. Many of these people, many Japanese channels, I believe they have good reason to try and hide, to cover the identity and hide behind anonymity, because if they work for a company and the company might not like the videos they're putting out, and I can fully understand that. This guy's a little bit different, but many of these others are just like, you see like AI channel photos, AI video thumbnails, and kind of like all very similar content of, I'll go through them one by one. I would like to shout out who I believe were like, these were some of the first people we found who were doing similar content to this. This guy doesn't make a lot of videos anymore, but this guy was a very, very influential in our viewing patterns on the subject. And on a side note, I do hope this guy is doing well because I enjoyed his content and I just hope he's doing well. Yeah, I think he lived in Osaka, like Osaka, Nara. They're pretty close to each other. Um, yeah, and he would make videos talking about how he lives in a very small apartment. You can see it's quite small. I'm sure it's a small room with tatami mats, and it does look very traditional style. And this guy too. This guy's a little bit different. He recently reinvented his channel, but it's very similar to. He has a lot of deleted videos, unfortunately. Yeah, like I'm 51 Japanese, no job, no hope. He did go. He did speak before on being unsatisfied with his wife, which was also something of a pattern in other channels. Um, this guy does the same thing. This guy does not hide behind anonymity. He's like you can't escape this guy. And I do give him very big credit for putting his life out there and like really taking it as it comes. I think most of his videos are back. Yeah, I guess he re-uploaded all of his videos, but they're members only. I don't have a membership. Uh, we do actually, my wife and I do joke about this man in a way that maybe we shouldn't have, where there was a video where he offered his wife, he was talking about how cold his relationship is with his wife, how like they never share anything, and so he was going to share, no, he was going to share an ice cream with his wife, and he bought this, I believe it's a Manaka bar, which is a well-known, let me see, Manaka bar, Japan. I believe that's what it's called. No. Manaka ice cream, Japan? Choco Monaka Jumbo, that's it. A very tasty uh, ice cream sandwich that you can get in Japan. This doesn't want to load for some reason. No, yeah, here it is. Basically this, and he made a video and he gave her part of the ice cream, but it was less than half of the ice cream, and she accepted it, and he went back into his cupboard and started saying, "Oh, look, she's so cold. Like I give her my favorite ice cream, and it's like nothing." And uh, we made jokes about that every now and again, where like the portion of the ice cream he would give to his wife was smaller and smaller each time, and we would mimic it to each other. Like if I had a bar of chocolate and my wife wanted a little bit, I would snap off maybe like this little bit here and say, "Oh, my wife, she feel nothing." And I apologize if that's quite insensitive. It was for him a very serious video, but we did find humor in it in a small way. We'd also comment about, oh, why wouldn't he just buy her an ice cream, like a whole one? But shout out to them. I believe they are like the OGs of this genre. And I do come in with love on this because I love watching this content. I know it's very serious for these people. It's a very sad subject for them, and it takes a lot of bravery to, even if you're not showing your face or talking in the video or really revealing much about your life to put yourself out there like this. And I do have tremendous amount of respect and appreciation to the people who are capable of doing this. It's not something I would ever feel comfortable doing. But yeah, there's heaps of these, man. And initially I thought I was just watching one, and in the end it turned out there's heaps. And a lot of these people live in I think this is one of the older ones, but some of them just hit the algorithm right. Like this one working for a black company. My understanding is that a black company in Japan is similar to what you might call a dead end job in Australia, where like no matter how much work you actually do, no matter what kind of value you bring to the company, there's no hope of either you or the company ever expanding beyond its current level. And I did watch a few of these. They are very interesting, very, very interesting things. Like before watching these, I didn't really understand much of. Oh, here's one. I've been here. Just looking at this thumbnail, I've been here. I didn't fully understand many aspects of the culture in Japan and especially in Tokyo. Yeah, I've stood exactly where he is now, the Hakone ropeway. When we visited Japan, we went to the Hakone the shrine there. I believe it's a Shinto shrine. Yeah, and we rode this all the way up. We actually saw a deer down below, and this is a he says it smells bad for some reason. I believe this is sulfur dioxide maybe, emitting from what is an active volcano, and that's what makes it smell bad. It is a breathtaking view, and it is terrifying to go over this if you are afraid of heights. Something you can do in here is actually get food. We did not get this. You get like black food, and they use the. I don't know if they use the volcanic ash or something else in some way, but the main thing you get here is black eggs. And the black eggs, you eat them. They're supposed to be here they are. Supposed to help you with longevity in your life, or perhaps good fortune. It's usually that. If I found most blessings in Japan were for longevity or good fortune, and yeah, like we bought some of these. You get four for $5, or 500 yen. That's about $5 Australian. When was he here? 6 months ago? Okay, yeah, that's way before I was. Yeah, they're very hot when you get them. I'm actually surprised he didn't do any kind of research to figure out how this works, but they use the sulfur and that somehow turns it black. Like I to be honest, I know less than very little compared to him. Oh, also, and the eggs are like way overdone. That was my takeaway. They're like actually really bad tasting boiled eggs. But yeah, like let's get back to the video. These channels would go over their kind of daily working life. Maybe they'd make a video to talk about what should be a special occasion. Like I believe this one's talked about Golden Week. Some of them will talk about like Golden Week and like the rare times they get a day off, like a public holiday. I forget what they call them in Japan, but they do have a special word for their public holiday there. and it's a little bit disheartening because even on days off, like you can see here, like this guy doesn't do nothing on his days off. Like this was good because he went somewhere, but a lot of times they're not well off. They're living paycheck to paycheck. A lot of them will say they're salarymen, but they're working in jobs that don't seem like they'd pay any more than like a wage. And I know wages over there are very low. I think the minimum wage there is maybe 1100 or 1200 yen, maybe even less per hour. Sad Christmas, loneliness in Japan. Like, it's good that some of these have found some level of success doing what they're doing here. This guy gets very good views, and but at the same time, it does seem like he's not living a life that is enviable. There are some of these. I look, man. Like I did not have to look very hard for these. They get good views. They come up in the algorithm. They're hitting the algorithm perfectly, and they are being targeted towards foreigners. These aren't in Japanese. They don't have like hiragana or katakana or kanji text. These are seemingly 100% targeted towards Australians or towards English speaking audiences. I guess maybe I'm just seeing the ones that are targeted towards English speaking audiences. Maybe there's like 1,000 of these that are only in Japanese. Here's another one. This one's only, what, 8 days old. Wow. Go to another one here. Some of these are just called Japanese salaryman. Yeah, like I found multiple that was just called like uh, something around like along those lines of like salaryman or lonely Japanese salaryman, stuff like that. And in one way, it is quite sad, but it's also interesting to see like so many of these people are in Tokyo, and like I often wonder like how widespread this is. Like I know it's widespread because when we were in Japan, we'd leave the hotel room at sometimes as early as 6:30 or 7 a.m. if we had a tour booked or we had an activity that needed to be done early in the morning. And while on the train, you could see people in suits, salarymen, and they didn't look like they were going to work. They looked like they were coming back from work, and especially when you were heading outside of Tokyo to an area like maybe Kawasaki, Yokohama, there's a place west of Tokyo where they have like the Mitaka, the Ghibli Museum. If you go north up to there's a mountain north of Tokyo that we went to, and that one was like all of these places are like we don't really have a word for it in Australia, but in Japan they call them uh, bed towns, where these places along we actually do have it here. It's like outer city suburbs here, but it's more like your permanent home, the place you live in and you raise your family in. While in Tokyo, a lot of these places we were told during a tour because we asked about it, like in Mitaka, we were told directly like this place it's very quiet compared to Tokyo because a lot of people only come here to sleep, and they don't spend much time with their families. Sometimes their families don't even live in these towns. They live even further out. When we went on the Mount Fuji tour, we were told that uh, a lot of people will live around the suburbs of Mount Fuji because it's cheaper to live out there, but they'll rent a small apartment, maybe a studio apartment, in a outer city suburb, a bed town near Tokyo, and take the train in to work every day, and they'll see very little of their families, but it's a financially a much easier way for them to maintain financial freedom than living inside of Tokyo. I think a lot of people don't want to live inside of Tokyo either. They see it as a bit too busy of a place to raise a family. It's also very, very expensive, is my understanding. We did find areas that were that had there are residential areas in Tokyo because it's so huge it has to have them, but even they are quite small compared to inner city suburbs in Brisbane or even around Ipswich where I live, where you can more affordably live in. Yeah, I just wanted to talk about this subject. Not everything is sad. Sometimes they just talk about like the food they had or dinner or something. Other times it's like yeah, I worked 14 hours. Some of them are like yeah, 3 days off, but I'm still tired. Like in in Australia, we have quite a big initiative at the moment of a work-life balance, and we're trying to like there's more focus from job seekers to find work in companies that will allow them to also live a life outside of their workplace, spend time with their loved ones, be family men or women, raise families. In Tokyo, especially, but seemingly in a lot of Japan, it seemed quite the opposite. It seemed like that this culture, this what we would call a toxic work culture, is more or less the norm in Japan, which is quite unfortunate. Here you go, New Year's Eve in Tokyo. This guy's passed out on his bed. Weekend alone. 24-year-old single salaryman. Weekend escape from hectic work, where he's just sleeping. Working 12 hours, exhausted and alone, stress max. Bro, this guy's got the triple monitor set. Two monitor. The, the quintuple monitor setup. A double monitor, two laptops, and a phone. My god. Working with a high fever. Something is like that would be insane in this country. Like, job burnout. It is very sad. A lot of these people have like their aspiration growing up was to get the degree and get the job, and now that they're in their 20s and early 30s, they're seeing that it's not something they actually want to do with their lives. No girlfriend, day in the life. I will say, like having somebody to come home to does make a bad. It makes something like this a lot easier. This was another one I found, Taka. This guy lives, I believe, in the south. I believe he lives on a South Island, maybe Okayama. So these people live all over too. That's why I try not to just say Tokyo, but all of Japan, because like this guy only started a month ago himself. This guy, I believe he's in Okayama. I've seen others that are in one was in Kyoto, one was in Osaka, which are quite close together. Many in Tokyo. The tip off to this guy being in Okayama, I'll point out. It's something that you don't see much else of. At least we didn't see it very much, which was tropical trees. This guy's videos aren't too sad. He just like goes around and does stuff. Like he goes shopping. He does like food review, I guess, or he just eats food. And there's nothing really wrong with but he does talk about like loneliness and stuff. You know, like palm trees and stuff. That's what gave me the tip off that this guy was in like a in the South Island. I don't even know if they call it the South Island. Yeah, Okayama? No, Okinawa. My bad. Not Okayama. Okinawa. Okinawa. That's somewhere we didn't visit, but I would love to visit next time. Here's one that has found a lot of success. Lost Salary Man in Japan. Like this guy gets like look man, almost a million views on something he uploaded a month ago. Like this one is insane. Like hangover breakfast. That's a thing there too. Apparently, it's quite common in Japan, especially for a new salary man. Oh, like a little robot. For a new salary man, will yeah, like they'll go out drinking with like work clients or with what do they call it, senpai, the seniors at their workplace, and they'll buy the seniors drinks and pour their drinks for them in a izakaya, and they'll do basically getting blackout drunk, like binge drinking as a cultural thing, and that one was really surprising to find out about. It was really interesting. Jesus, this is one I don't even think I have in the lineup here. Is this one? Yeah, this is another one. Tired Salary Man in Osaka. I think I might have watched a few of these before. Brother, this guy's lucky. He's getting the bonus. Some of these people don't get a bonus. Work pod? Holy shit. Bro, I could not work in that, like, no life, only work. Wow, 16-hour workday. These people are, like, there's so many of these channels doing the same thing. It's so weird. Just to me, it's so weird. This one's 3 months old. Look, 2.1 million views on their initial video. Just insane, dude. Like, bro, this guy might be getting paid more on YouTube than he is at his job at this point. Like, if you're getting a million views on a video, others are like, how crazy is it that it's like you get 65K and you might think, oh, that sucks compared to my 2.1 million, but man, yeah, just something I wanted to talk a little bit about. This one's only 8 days old, like a week old. This one I like to give a special shout out to. This guy's one of my favorites to watch. I will say, like, I enjoy watching all of these because they are quite fascinating. And this guy talks about how he's like jobless, still living with his parents. Some of these people are like jumping from job to job, and they stay at one job for a little while but leave. But this guy does seem like he's trying to at least be happy for the camera. But here's another one. This guy is very informative as well. He tries to tackle different subjects like aging society. What do Japanese people think about immigrants? This is the one who opens up about his relationship with his wife. Like apparently adultery is very, very common in Japan. Even on a tour guide mentioned something, maybe not adultery, but she mentioned how the area we were driving through, part of Shinjuku, had a lot of bars where if you were a married woman, you could go and meet a hot single man. And the way she described it, it was we thought she was only mentioning like I believe it's called a host club where you might go there and like you're just like talking to someone who pours you drinks and you have this little social relationship, like a parasocial relationship maybe, if that's the right term for a small time, but maybe there was something more to it. Um yeah, this guy's quite good. He covers a lot of different subjects. A lot of these we watch on the TV, so they're not linked to my channel, and it doesn't show that I've watched them. So like I don't talk to my wife, like stuff that's just really kind of sad to look at, but it's also like it's deeply fascinating to watch. I can't stop watching these. They're so interesting. Here's another one. Life of Salaryman in Tokyo. Maybe I should have gone through this. Oh, there you go. This is what I called to like modern slavery. Shachiku. Yeah, company livestock. That's what I mentioned before. Like company cattle. Yeah, just wanted to go through some of these channels, highlight a couple of videos, and just have a little chat about it because I don't know. I think a lot of people who have visited Japan or they study Japanese, or they like anime and stuff and video games. They look at Japan as this kind of cultural paradise, and unfortunately, if you're not a tourist from a wealthy country, it's if you're a local struggling through modernity, it's quite an unfortunate experience. This one I haven't watched, but I wanted to show it because it's quite new. This one says homeless though, like homeless salaryman. I work for a small company that isn't doing very well, so I often stay late, sometimes until midnight. Been trying to support my parents. That's another thing. These young people in Japan, they'll only be 25 to 30 years old themselves, and they'll have parents who are well into their 70s or late 60s and in need of their support, which they, to be quite frank, are not in a position to give. But this one's interesting. To cut costs, I've been living in internet cafes, eating cheap meals. You can do that in Japan. And doing whatever I can to get through each day. Yeah, this one's nuts. This guy's like straight up homeless. So he just lives in these internet cafes. Like you can stay in these places. They're like pods. We went past like capsule hotels, and I thought about going to one just as a gimmick for 1 or 2 nights because you can. But yeah, this guy's living out of the Family Mart and the 7-Eleven, man. Like that's quite unfortunate. There is one that I forgot to showcase. I remembered him only just. Hopefully this helps me find. This guy's quite good. The car camping guy. He's quite good to watch. Um, I hope I can find this one because this guy's channel is quite good. Maybe like skateboarding Japan. This isn't gonna bring it up. That's like nah. That's like way too That's way too generic. What's the guy's name? I forget the guy's name. I feel so bad. Salaryman's Oasis. Look, like, even they kind of joke about it. This guy, Nomad Push, his videos are also excellent. Like, especially his older videos were really interesting. About like he was homeless, he quit his job and didn't want to. He worked for some kind of real estate firm, was my understanding, and he was skateboarding across Japan for a while. He was staying in a tent. He was this is the one I saw. I'm 37 years old and I'm homeless in Japan. I feel lonely sometimes, and he living in a tent. It was quite sad, but he seems to be doing pretty well for himself now. He does get pretty good views, and he is definitely not living in a tent anymore. He has a van, and he stays in that. It's it's good. It's very good for him that he's doing better than he was. This was also a very interesting video. I guess like rural Japan is also very much struggling through economic crisis. He goes through a thing here showing all of these so this is like a share pod almost, and you just like sleep on the floor here, but it costs you $1.30 a night. So I guess if you have no other option, it is a roof over your head, if nothing else. And there are toilets nearby. But he showed this section, which is all former shops, and it was quite sad to see all of these places boarded up and closed down. This is something that you do see a fair amount, especially in rural Australia, places that struggle to stay open because there's not a lot of people who like to live out in rural locations anymore. Everybody wants to be close to the city, and especially with the emergence of big chain stores and shopping centers, it's not something that is quite viable anymore. It's not been viable to have like a little business open for quite a while, unfortunately. Oh, just to show at the end here, what was this one? Japanese salaryman? Yeah, there's so many, like, well, this one's 6 months old, so this is maybe one of the older ones that do this kind of video. And this guy I've watched quite a bit as well, but I don't have a lot to say about this one. I just wanted to say, like, recently I've also discovered, like, it's not just salary men, but there's also a fair amount of women too. This one we found like yesterday. I'm not even joking. Life in Japan, just turned 30, no boyfriend, low income, but I enjoyed quiet birthday. This one was interesting because I wanted to see what she was eating. She was using something. We kept finding we would have quite a bit of sushi in Japan. We'd get like sushi packs from a convenience store or a grocery store, and yeah, it would come with these konjac, and we didn't know what they were called. We were trying to figure it out, and we used this video to help find the name konjac. This is the one I mentioned. She's in Kyoto. Yeah, just interesting stuff. This is made from like a plant, like a bulb or something. I still don't fully understand it, but it's low calorie and quite good for you apparently. This was another one I found. I haven't actually watched this one yet, but it seems to follow a similar style to the others. This one definitely mentioned yeah, like this was a woman who seemingly quit her job, no friends in Japan, like multiple times quitting job over the course of a year, and cozy evening alone. Like that seems to be all these people have sometimes. It's just like a night to themselves, and that can be nice. But Nara, this woman must live in Osaka, I guess. Yeah, like in Osaka. Yeah, just very interesting stuff. Uh, yeah, let me know. Do you guys watch these kind of videos? I don't know. This was a very random video to make, but I just wanted to shed some light on this strange YouTube trend that is popping up of low income life in Japan, lonely Japanese salaryman. Uh, yeah, just these kind of crash out vlogs, I guess. Like, look, if this isn't crashing out, I don't know. I'm done. I'm done. No friends, burnout, life zero, alone night, low income, 40 cent dinner. Oh my god. 1K salary? Is that what she gets a month? Then she mustn't get more than like 1,000 yen an hour, surely. Surviving long hours, endless overtime. I don't know. But look, this one's like little, not even 2 months old, and you can see how many video views, like almost 1 million total views. Like, yeah, these are crazy. All right, thank you guys for watching. See you with my house bidding you farewell. I'm sorry I didn't really know what to really talk about. I just wanted to just show all of these channels that do the same thing. They get crazy good views, and they seem to all be miserable young Japanese people who are alone, unhappy with their lives. Some of them no job, no boyfriend, no people down in the dumps. Yeah. All right. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys later. Bye.